Alright, I got another knife review here for you, and this is the Smith & Wesson SWA14, and there's really nothing special about this knife. It's just another cheap knife you can pick up at Walmart or wherever. But let me get you a little bit of specs on it here real quick. It's got a 4.5 inch closed length, which is fine in the pocket, not too big, but this one here's plenty big enough to get any EDC task done. The overall open length is 8 inches, which again isn't too big. This is what I would consider a medium-sized knife, and about perfect size for just about any EDC task. The blade length is 3.5 inches, and the handle length is 4.5 inches. So you got plenty of cut-in surface, and I'm not sure what the exact length is on your cutting edge there, but you can see you do get the vast majority of your cutting edge there. I'll use a pen to point. You do get the vast majority of your cutting edge. They used a good portion of the blade. And I do like the little troil, let me get back in here, that they did, which allows for more of a cutting edge there. And the knife comes pretty sharp, and I'm not sure what the blade steel is, but you know, whatever, it's probably just one of the more common steels, like a 440A or something. You know, it don't stay sharp the longest, but I have, as you can tell, I've carried this knife a lot, and I have put it through the ringer, beat the absolute dog shit out of it. And it's still good, locks up good, you know. That wasn't much of a test, but you know, you don't have to worry about it folding in on your hands anyways. But I do know other people who have this knife and carried it and have been perfectly happy with it like I am, and other people who've had problems with the lock. But then again, with this being like a average $10 knife, $12 knife, you know, most of the time, that's what you can come to expect. And this is just from a sharpening stone. I have the Lansky sharpening system. I'll have to make a video about that sometime. I haven't used this. I just use a stone on this, and it gets plenty sharp enough. If I had a stand for this camera, this phone I'm using as a camera, I'd do a cutting test, but it might be... I just can't hold the phone and do it at the same time and let you guys see it. I got a rigged setup with a flashlight hanging from the ceiling, and notes to the side, knife in the middle, and a fucking pen for a pointer. But anyways, it's a plenty comfortable knife. It's getting ready to be winter. Temperature hasn't dropped yet, but it fits the hand nice. I have rather big hands. It fits the hand nice. It's got these little indentions here on the handle, and it does your hardware as it torques there. I have not tried to take this knife apart yet, but I'm sure you could take it apart just fine, even though a lot of, on these on these cheaper knives, it's real common for these screws to strip out when you take them out. The pocket clip is nice on it. It's got a pretty good amount of tension, but it ain't hard to take in and out of the pocket. It is not reversible or anything. It's just in that one position, but it is removable. Say for cleaning or something. And just a stainless steel blade, and you can tell this one's scratched up. Part of their Smith & Wesson Extreme Ops line. And then they do have some sort of black coating on the handle, which is starting to rub off on the edges. But, you know, for a cheap knife, it just gives it a little bit of character. Also, a little bit jimping on the blade up here, which is, let's see if I can show you, nice and deep. So if you are the kind of guy that's into jimping, this knife offers a pretty good amount of grip. You know, if you really dig into it, your thumb ain't going nowhere. Dual thumb studs, so theoretically you can be a lefty or a righty and use this knife. even though the pocket clip is not reversible. It's a tip down carry. And that's about all I got for it. It's a nice little knife for the money if you're like me and just like a cheap knife. Well, thank you for watching, and come back next time for the next review.